Welcome to Sensible Living Podcast and Blog. I'm your host, Michael McGregor, episode 2. Today I want to talk to everybody about a shift scenario. You know, everyone's out there planning for that zombie apocalypse, that EMP, that nuclear war, that civil unrest. And, you know, okay, we can prepare for this, but let's come back down to reality here. You know, you should be preparing for what we would call is high probability, low impact, not low probability, high impact. And what I mean by that is the low probability but high impact is your nuclear war, your civil unrest, your EMP, your plague, pandemic. When's the last pandemic? 1913, the Spanish flu during World War I. The date might be off. Don't quote me. I'm sitting here driving here, but we do know that a lot of the deaths during World War I wasn't because of World War I. It's because of the Spanish flu. That was a pandemic. It was also considered a black swan event too. We'll get into black swan events on a later episode. EMP. When's the last EMP we had? I'm trying to think back to when it happened, or a nuclear blast. When was the last time? Super Volcano. Did we have one of those recently? No. Okay. Low probability. But your high probability, low impact is going to be lose a job, have a terminal sickness hit a family member, local blizzard hitting your area. You notice these happen all the time. And, loss of jobs, that happens to a lot of people all the time. But it has a low impact because it only really affects you. These are the things you need to be actually preparing for. Do you have 3 to 6 months of savings that you can survive? If you lose a job, can you survive 3 to 6 months off of your savings? Do you have food storage in the event of a blizzard that comes in and shuts, a few things down for, 2 to 3 days? Every time there's a snowstorm, milk, bread, and eggs. These people right there, they don't have a plan. They don't know what they're going to do. So the first thing they do is they go out and buy bread, milk, and eggs. Really? You don't have 2 days worth of milk, bread, and eggs in your house at the time of this storm? Why are you panicking? Because you don't have a plan. So you need to start thinking about the high probability. Train derailment, affects your water. You have a boil water advisory. Do you have enough water to get you by for the day, for the week, for the 2 weeks, for the month that they have this boil water advisory? So there's all sorts of little things that affect you, your local area, your household, your little town, your city. The probability of something affecting the entire state, the entire nation, the entire world is fairly low. We still have to be aware of it, but let's be a little smart about this. Food storage. We'll get into an episode on food storage and how to do copy canning, because I'll always tell you with food storage, store what you eat and eat what you store. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live 3 months on MREs, man. I love my digestive system. I really don't want to put it through that much pain and agony. So think about that, and we'll have an episode on that too. I know I'm throwing this, like, let's talk about this, and here we have an episode. But the point is, we need to pay attention to that high probability scenario. We need to be prepared for the high probability, low impact. And that means focusing on you, not the neighborhood. I've talked to a lot of people. They talk about their EDC, their everyday carry, and the first thing they bring up is, oh, I got my gun. Really? I have my multi-tool, my car keys, and my phone. Yes, I do have a CCW, and yes, I do carry, but that's not the first thing I go to. I use my multi-tool more often than I use my gun on a daily basis. Just throwing that out there. So your multi-tool might be a little more important than your gun on your everyday carry. I'm not saying, you know, don't carry a gun, but priorities here. What are you using more often? You know, I get it. You're proud of your gun. You're very proud. We all are proud of our guns. But how often are you whipping it out in public? Honestly, I hope you're not whipping it out that much, if at all, because if you're whipping it out, there's a situation that has arisen that you're going to use deadly force. So hopefully we're not jumping onto that. So your multi-tool, that's something for that immediate problem. I'm going to hit a 7-Eleven here. I got to get some water. And so, you know, let's focus a little bit on those, you know, that low, you know, high probability, low impact, so that you're prepared for that blizzard, that boil advisory, and apparently an onslaught of traffic. Yes, I know. I digress. Think about your water storage, your food storage. Think about something for heat. If there's a blackout, a power outage, you might not have heat depending on, you know, how your heat is set up in your home. If it's electric and all that, do you have wood? Do you have what do you call those little burner logs, the fake wood? Do you? I mean, if you have a gas stove, I mean, will that run if you don't have electricity to your house? You know, these are little things. What do you have for a generator? These are things you need to pay attention to a little bit more than your stockpile of 15,000 rounds of ammunition. And we're going to pause right here with that, and have a great day.